Hello, can we hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Theresa! Theresa is here. Theresa has entered the chat. Can we hear me? I just need a slight bit of confirmation. Oh my god. Is that a no on the hearing? Ah, thank you so much. All right, let's see if you can see me. Hello, hello everyone. Trash Magic, you are on time. Hi, Theresa. Hello, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Critical Sass Live. Hello, Hodies. Hello, Honeys. We love to see it. For some reason, I think I messed up the latency on this, so maybe I'm a little bit further ahead than I think I am. I tried to fix it. Welcome to Critical Sass. If you're not familiar with the format, basically you're going to go through new releases, and I'm going to tell you whether or not I think they're good to buy, not good to buy, whether I'm interested, whether you should be interested. Majestic Beast is here. Wonderful. What a wonderful little group. First and foremost, hi, welcome. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. Super thanks is on if you feel so generous to do that. I'm a Patreon. Those are all things that I'm saying. Today's look was inspired by Chloe Tilden's look, Chloe Enchanted on YouTube. She released a video today where she did like orange and green eyes. So like I was feeling inspired. That's where we were going. My shirt is made of plastic. It sounds like I am wearing a trash bag when I move. And I think we all know that I can't sit still. So those are all things that are true. I have 2 beverages. I'm ready to go. Hope everyone's having a great day. Oh, also, I won. Well, I didn't win, but I came in second place in Best of Pittsburgh. So I'm the second best thirst trap in Pittsburgh, and I'm the 3rd best lifestyle influencer. Tied. But thank you to everyone who voted. I really appreciate it. That really was a thrill to me. I've like known for about a week, and I was like, how am I supposed to keep this a secret? Thank you, Helen. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I'm a winner. No, I want to cry holding the RuPaul trophy and be like, if I tried a little bit harder. You followed Chloe. I'm so glad I could have led you to Chloe. She is a true vision. Since Teresa's in the chat, I mean, I don't know if she's still in the chat, but if Teresa's in the chat, let's get started. Announced today, Theresa is Lethal, the newest collab from Teresa's Dead and Lethal Cosmetics. There was a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge on New Makeup Nonsense Bingo on Monday. And I was like, are we doing it again? This is so beautiful. This is wonderful. I'm loving the top row specifically and the sparkly blue on the bottom. I don't know why I'm into blue recently. I know I have like lamented the color blue on my channel like many, 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 many times. But like, this is a vibe that I can get behind. And the pinks, and I know I say I don't like pink, but I know I really in my heart do. These pinks are so pretty. The neon green is also sending me the swatch in Teresa's video. If you haven't watched Teresa's video, I highly recommend you go watch the announcement videos. This palette is so cool. I'm not 100% sure that I will be purchasing it. I did buy the first, I've done my part. I did buy the first one, but I think this one's really pretty. I kind of wish I had reversed it, that I would have bought this one instead. I think that I would have played with this color story more as a unit. Right now, I mostly use these as singles because at least the first one was the pans were removable, so I often move them around. Let's talk about the blushes. I have those pulled up too. So I think the blushes are really pretty. I love the marble swirl. It's very, very pretty. The green highlighter. I love a green highlighter. I love that we have highlighters in this collection because alien slut. Full stop. Period. Theresa is creating her vision. I love that she got to make her own silver. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Teresa's hunt for like this silver. She has this Moschino X Sephora, and I worked at Sephora when that palette came out. I never looked at that thing twice. Meanwhile, Theresa is taking it to the grave with her because of this silver. So I hope she feels confident that she can continue using her silver because she's made her own silver. We love to see it. Oh, okay. Anyway, Yes, there's blushes. There's also 2 gel eyeliners. I forgot to grab photos for them, but there are 2 gel eyeliners. There's a green one and a reddish one. But yeah, I think that Theresa did a great job. I always love seeing Theresa succeed in the world. It's Theresa's world and we are all living in it, and I'm happy to be part of it. Happy to see this. I'm hoping that it sells really well. I'm rooting for her always, always, always. So, Theresa, look at all the love in the chat for you, babe. We love you. Okay, I want to talk about the periwinkle is really pretty. I know you love Theresa. Oh yeah, we all love Theresa. Nothing bad here to say. It's okay to think something is very beautiful and really love someone and not end up buying it because it's not within all of our means to do so, or we know we won't use that color story, but we can still appreciate it. Those are all things that can be true. Okay? All right. This is an eyeshadow quad from Karla Cosmetics. Now, I don't see a lot of people talk about Karla Cosmetics, but I do follow them on Instagram. And they release some like very, very interesting stuff. But I think this is the first eyeshadow palette I've seen from them. And this is really pretty. So it has 2 multi-chromes and 2 mattes. Guess in the chat how much this costs, if you don't already know. I just want you to guess. I want you to guess how much this quad costs. Please. Please. Maybe I'm really behind. I thought I put on low latency, but perhaps I didn't. And I don't really know what that means. I see an 80. Hello, Beth. Welcome. I thought they were, I wondered that too. Maybe Theresa will do some comparison swatches on her video on Friday. So this palette from Karla Cosmetics costs 75 doll hairs. A quad. And while understand that I have certainly bought quads that are at this price point, I just am like confused. 2 multi-chromes. It's quite a bit of money. But I do think this is like objectively beautiful. Not my color story. Not my color story, but it's pretty. I like all of the eye looks they put together with it in that one in the top corner. I think it's really, really stunning. But $75 is a bit steep from a brand that is relatively not talked about. I don't remember what did Cliona price their palette that they released this summer? Was it even $75? I don't really remember. The Fix Potion. Yeah, she has some like loose multi-chrome pigments, and I almost bought some of them. But then I ended up buying a lot of other stuff instead. You know me. What I actually bought was a Dior Quint instead of those. We'll see. Oh yeah, it does kind of look similar to that. Yeah, I see that. It does look similar to the Voyeuristic Vixen quad. Sorry to you who are watching on replay. I forgot that I should be reading out the comments that I'm responding to in order to help you have a better viewing experience. All right, let's move along. Pretty, but not for us. This bitch, Tom Ford, is releasing highlighters. Does that seem weird? Highlighters for fall. I thought that was weird. It does look like an extension of the shade range. I believe there was only 1, and now there will be 4. However, one of them is not there. It does say that there are shades Mood Light, Peach Light, Nude Light, and Tan Light. And I don't think Tan Light is on there. I'm going to guess that Tan Light would probably be one for deeper complexions, but I'm guessing. That's just hearsay. I don't know. This one's from Makeup Release Radar. You know that sometimes we don't know all of the information. But it does say that they're $90 a piece. I mean, the one looks like a blush, but you know, Tom Ford always gets me. I don't know why I'm mostly attracted to the one that I couldn't wear, the one on the far right, in the top row. I'm like, that's so pretty, but that's certainly not something I could wear, but I like it. But the other ones I'm actually not interested in. Tom Ford. Also, if you guys didn't see, Michelle Wong reviewed that palette that I was so into in the last Critical Sass. And she said it was awful. And I was like, wow, I've never felt so relieved after a review in my whole life. They do kind of have the same vibes of the Hourglass powders. They really do. Like the Mood Light. Wonder if that's what there's... No, they look like highlighters on the swatches. But... Listen, I didn't say that I was buying this. Don't come for me. Don't come for me in my past things with Tom Ford, okay? Sometimes I just think it's pretty, okay? The darkest one, yeah. I just don't think that one would work on me. Okay. We'll move along. You guys said poo-poo to Tom Ford, and basically I do too. So let's move along. Okay, we're revisiting something. I think the last time I talked about this, it was like a screenshot that was really small and blurry, and so now I've seen it more so. Like now I can see the color story. Here's the thing. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with me, but right now I'm like very into like wanting to try brands that I have like poo-pooed on for quite some time. And for some reason, it's the periwinkle that's doing it for me. And I understand that's not the rest of the color story that's happening here. It's like berries, which I don't really care for berries, but something about this is very alluring to me. Not the packaging, but the color story. And I don't know why, but I want to use that periwinkle. I have periwinkles. Do you know how many times I've used a periwinkle? I don't know, 3 times the whole time I've done makeup. Like I don't wear it that often. The Pop of Purple is the new Pop of Blue. Yes. I remember that being, I have a hair on my face. I swear to God. On a live, how embarrassing. So, I'm with you, but like, why is the periwinkle in this one? But well, I guess I don't really talk about ABH on my channel anymore. But like, why am I attracted to this one? The Nouveau palette I was low-key interested in. And I also think their new one looks pretty, but like, I don't really want to talk about them. Well, there you go. So Beth just said that she ordered it and is going to compare it to the Nouveau. So it sounds like someone's doing work that I don't have to do. And so we can all watch Beth's video and we can thank her and appreciate her for that. Listen, the packaging is kind of, it's not really giving, but I don't know why the color story is giving to me. Beth, you take a lot of ones for the team. You buy a lot. You bought the new Patrick Ta thing, which is actually in here. So we'll get to that. But this is $60 in case anyone was interested in, but based on the chat, sounds like nobody was but me. So, but I don't think I would have ever bought this. I don't know that anyone's really allured by this. I think people have been just mostly saying they have liked previous years' palettes better than this. And then this is the first one I'm like, oh, well, Nars, what are you doing over there? All right, Dior is releasing a couple of holiday blushes. I like this. I like this color. It's pretty. So this is Galactic Red, a burgundy with a shimmering gold. For blush draping, this would be really pretty. Wouldn't buy a Dior. I'm like blush. I'm feeling fulfilled with my blushes. I had to force myself not to use Mimi today from West Atelier. I was like, I've been using it too much. So I did force myself to use a different blush. So adding another blush to the mix will either make me want to use this one more or I will just continue to use Mimi. But I think this is really pretty. There's also the embossing is really pretty. Yeah, everyone's talking embossing. It does look deep. I hope that this works on deeper complexions. That doesn't mean that I would not use it on mine. Because you just tap some off. But there is a lighter one. So this is the Cosmic Coral. A luminous festive coral, as they say. And these are $45 each. Yeah, these are really pretty. I am actually kind of... I hope these are limited edition. Sorry, they're 2 limited edition shades decorated with cosmic patterns of stars and flowers. Okay. It says they're ultra pigmented. So just know that. Is it worth it? That I Helen did say that that is a relative question. And here's the thing about me and expensive powder products, specifically like blush, contour, bronzer. It takes a while to get through them. You're not like buying it all the time. So your price per use goes down pretty quick, like as you use it over time, right? When was the last time anyone finished a blush? And I'm just saying that realistically, like your price per use on it, if you continue to use it, you get a lot out of it. What does ultra pigmented mean to Dior? I don't mean any shade by that, but sometimes I'm very into a Dior moment. I don't know. Welcome, Cozy Gaze and Makeup. Anyway, so you know what I'm interested in the new year? I want everyone to stop releasing new things and expand the shade ranges on their most popular products. Just like add more colors, more shades if it's like a foundation. Just I want more of the same. That's what I want from me. Dior packaging feels cheap. I mean, it looks just like, hold on. I love to go into my drawers whenever I'm on. It looks just like, it just looks just like this. And this is just one of their eyeshadows. So it's weird that it's limited edition, but it's like not the packaging. Like it looks just like all of the other Dior stuff. So maybe it's not holiday. Or is Dior just always boring? I don't know a lot about Dior. This says it's for pre-order at Neiman Marcus. The information I have, Kelly. Okay, here's an indie brand I had never heard of, but I thought this palette was pretty gorgeous. This is the Ensley Rain. Ensley Rain is the name of the brand. I hope I'm saying that right. ENSLEY This is their Enchanted Forest palette. Has 5 mattes, 1 sparkle matte, 12 shimmers, 2 diamond shimmers, and 1 multi-chrome pressed glitter, and it retails for $32. I think this is really pretty. It's too many eyeshadows for me, but there's like 2 visions happening here. There's like the left 9 and the right 9. I'm not really sure about the middle the middle column, but it's like there's 2 9pan palettes that kind of come together in a vision. I'm wondering if you could, use the blue and the red, which do seem to be like distinctly off from the rest of the palette. Maybe in some color theory moments, you do a tap into the red and go into another color to like kind of transform it. That's what I'm seeing here. That's the vision that I'm getting. I don't know. This is from Makeup Release Radar, but like I could see people getting a lot of use out of this. Like you have some greens, which I think that greens is like the one color that people who are scared of color will use. And then you have like those beautiful neutrals on the other side. I just think this is a pretty stunning look. Okay. I like a sparkle. I do. I used to hate them, but I've used some. If the formula is good, sparkle mattes are great. And that's my argument for that. I cannot say further why I think that's true, but that is how I feel. And I do know my heart. Not always my words, but I do know my heart. The corners. You want to make a quad out of the 4 corners? It is a lot of pans. But I think if someone who doesn't have a very large makeup collection bought this, they could get a lot of use out of it. I just think that it seems pretty versatile to me. It is also only $32 for that many pans of eyeshadow. So I don't know. Do with that information what you will. I think that's pretty reasonable for a brand I've never heard of, because I don't know about you guys, but eyeshadow palette prices are like, they're going up really fast. Whenever I started doing my makeup, it was like common for a palette to be $40. And now it seems that palettes come out and they are immediately $60, which it's not like I haven't paid more than that for an eyeshadow palette, but I'm just saying like the price do be going up. The middle column is a little bit weird. I love a shiny taupe and a shiny swampy green. This seems like something that should be right up your alley then. Do I have any recommendations for sparkly mattes? I love the effect they can have, but rarely come across a formula where the sparkles don't just blend away without 1 or 2 random ones staying. I don't know what price point you shop at, Simply Swatch, but I have one of the smoky eye bricks from Victoria Beckham, and they're all sparkle mattes, I think. There's maybe just 1 true matte in there. And the sparkle does stay. It's very beautiful. But that's probably the best one that I've used. And I know that that's like really out there. If you don't want to spend that much on a sparkly matte to like take that risk, I understand that. All right, let's move on from this. It sparked a lot of oh, here we go. Let's talk about this. M Cosmetics. So I, in one video a while ago, was trying to link to these. You guys really did not like the primary colors. I'm with you, but like, I don't know. It was there. So I was trying to link to these a while ago, and then they weren't on the website anymore, and I was like, oh, did they discontinue these? Which seemed really strange to me, as this seemed to be their most, in my opinion, their most popular product. I know a lot of other people use a lot of things from this brand. They reformulated it to make them more pigmented, and then they also changed the component a little bit. And then they also added 2 new shades. So the 2 new shades are Autumn Sky, which is described as a warm terracotta, and Forbidden Fruit, which is a toasted pomegranate. Now, Autumn Sky sounds like a dream to me. I do not buy from M Cosmetics. The container shape, I too am not buying from M Cosmetics anymore, but I have one of these. Well, I have it in the old packaging. I didn't have as much trouble with it as many other people did, but Michelle Wong used the new one recently, and she said, I don't know that this is any better. So I don't know that it has improved with the new one. I want to try this, but I won't buy it. I want to be gifted these only if life worked that way. Yeah. David is my friend. David's in the chat. Hello, David. David is not as into makeup as the rest of us, but David does drag, so he uses makeup much differently than most of us do. He's probably like, what is M Cosmetics? Who is M Cosmetics? No, Kelly, I'm not buying from them either. The dropper, I don't know. It's just the dropper's on the outside. Right now, the dropper is inside of a button. So I don't know. I don't know that it's better. Yeah, Helen, Michelle Phan said something really weird about it was both sounded very cultish and then was also very ableist. It was not great. It was a bad time. All right. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Pat McGrath's holiday collection. Let us discuss. So, it's the Celestial Nirvana collection. Here it is. Sorry, I'm gasping. I just gasped. Beth says, rumors of a Natasha Denona retro glam palette leaked on Reddit. Does it, I'm afraid to ask, does it have green in it? That's my one question. Anyway, let's talk about this. This is the Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana palette. Okay, having bought one of these in the past, I don't like this packaging because there's 2 strings that attach to the mirror. I don't love that. I ended up cutting the strings because I was like, I can't stand that packaging. Here's what I will say. I'm going to give Mother this. There's some color to it. It's not looking like everything else Pat McGrath has released in the past 2 years. So I'm going to give her points for that. I love to see color. And what I'm hoping is that the more colorful shades have a good formula. Because one thing I like about Natasha Denona when she does color, so in the blue purple palette that I have from her, the colorful shades work really well. I use neutral shades, so I don't have to pack them to get the payoff that I'm looking for, because that's not really how I do my makeup. I'm not someone who packs and then blends. So I would hope that these work like that and are very easy to use. That's my fantasy. But and I understand that there's 3 groups of 6. So it's the bottom 6, the middle 6, and the top 6 are different ideas. It's probably 6 pan palettes. But this I'm not particularly interested in. But it doesn't feel like flop era behavior, which is what it has been feeling like from Pat recently. Sorry, I'm getting caught up on comments. Kelly S. She should give up and do build your own palettes. Wouldn't that be the dream? To build your own mothership? I would do that. I would love to do that. I like the concept of the warm, neutral, cool, but the execution isn't quite there for me. It's overwhelming. I can agree that that it does feel overwhelming. Tiger Lily Blossom says, I don't care for her mattes, but I put up with them. I kind of feel the same way. When I'm reaching into a Pat McGrath palette, I'm more thrilled with using everything but the mattes. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. I heard that the launch, there was only some things launched and not everything launched. Beth is talking about that. This looks so different, but it's also exactly the same. So yeah, the bottom 6 looks like the Mothership 2, Subliminal. So now that I'm looking at it, maybe these are just recycled concepts, which I can see. All right. Then there are 2 5-pan palettes. There's Nude Allure, and then there's Bronze Bliss. I like these. I don't need these. I'm not going to buy these. But this, I like. I'm not sold on the packaging of these. I know that 5 pans can only be like assorted in so many fashions, but I don't know that I love the long thing. And again, these are definitely like companion palettes, right? Many people will want mattes to use long, but I think these are stunning. All right, we'll get to the highlighter. No one wants to talk about 5 pans? Let's go. I hate these. I don't care for these. I don't like the way they're set up. I don't like the presentation of them. These feel hokey to me. I don't care for these blush. And I guess another thing is I've already have the 2 shades that I want, and I had a third one that I liked, but I moved on from it. I passed on it. It's no longer within my collection. I guess if you have none of them, sure. Also, I did not watch any reviews last year whenever these came out. Is the formula the same in the blush palettes, or is it like a Too Faced situation where it's like they skimp on the formula? I'm curious. I just don't know. You think I'll buy one of the 5-pan palettes? I like the cooler tone one. If I can make a suggestion, I think you should get the cooler tone one and then tell me how it is. I think she needs to lose the pink and gold packaging. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just like all looking the same even on the outside. And so it's just like, I think we need to move on from that. It looks broken. Oh yeah. I mean, if it'd be a good buy if you don't have any of the shades, I will say that. But like, I'm so not inclined to use face palettes are so not, I'm a compact person. I know that some people are very into face palettes, but it ain't me. It's not me. It doesn't do much for me. I would say that this is the best part. So this is the Divine Blush in Nude Venus 2. I like that. That looks pretty to me. I love that. It's a peach nude with a silver sparkle. Oh no, satin pearl finish. Peach nude with a satin pearl finish. And this is Venusian. Anyway, nude. It's a peach nude with a silver sparkle. So Pat McGrath needs to, yes, it needs to be more consistent. These are like in the traditional things, but even those sometimes feel chintzy. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones, there's some bad years, there's some good years when it comes to that. So yeah, I'm with you. Pat McGrath's packaging has been hit or miss since even the when she would do the limited edition kits before she had like the solid brand. So that's like not uncommon. It's been a consistent. Yeah, I don't know. I think that blush is pretty. And I do like their blushes. Venusian. Thank you. I'm curious about the highlighter. I'm curious on how it will look on very fair skin. Blended out. Will it have a cast? That would be my only concern. But like, The blush is like not a no. Like I like what I'm considering that blush. So I'm just saying. And we found out during one time a live on my Patreon that I don't own a peach blush, which is, you know, doesn't mean I need one, but it does mean that there is a place for it. All right. And then there's also 2 lip colors, which I really don't care about, but I did put them here because they are they are part of it. So there you go. Oh, no, there's one more thing. There should be one more thing. There they are. How are you feeling about How are we feeling about the colorful mascara from Pat McGrath? If I wanted a colorful mascara, I'm not going to pay Pat McGrath prices for a colorful mascara because it's going to be a sometimes thing. And likely I would use it once and it would dry up before I use it again. Like it'd be a whole year since before I used it again. You have to be so into color mascara to get the use out of these that you would want. The mascara doesn't look good. The lipstick embossing does look weird, but she tried something. That's also something. I feel like I don't know what's going on with my brain right now. I'm like trying to like justify things to you, but like I don't need to do that. I'm just like feeling very strange, feeling very in favor of brands today, which is very not like me. I do think it's really hard to elegantly photograph a color mascara, and they are doing it on bare eyes. I would love to see perhaps the vision of this through like a Pat McGrath makeup application, be like, this is how I think you should use these. Maybe. I think like there are people who wear blue mascara, and I bet that's the one that sells the best whenever these get released. But I think the mint one is fun. I'd wear the mint one. I'm not going to buy the mint one, but it's like color mascara feels childish to me and like not editorial, but it's being presented to us in an editorial fashion here. I think white mascara is editorial, but I don't know that I think that all these colorful ones are. I am excited about the kohl eyeliner. I hope that's permanent because it came in one of Pat McGrath's kits early on in the Dark Star kit. Like there was a chunky kohl liner and I love that thing. So I'm happy to see that back. I'm happy to see a vision of that back. That makes me happy. I'm good. I'm happy to see that. I don't know that everyone's happy to see that, but I am. All right, Charlotte Tilbury. Some holiday 2022 stuff. There is the beautifying face palette and hypnotizing pop shot. Oh no, I went too far. Go back. So it looks like there are 2 face palettes and then 2 or 3 single sparkly shadows. I'm gonna let you guys do this one. You guys let me know how you feel about this. It's I hate the packaging. I hate Charlotte Tilbury's packaging, kind of period. But now we're adding like colorful rhinestones on it, and I'm like, but why? Why? The question I ask to you is why? Why this? The single eyeshadows, I'm not mad at. I would never use them because of them being single eyeshadows. I would forget about them. But I do kind of like that. I mean, like a single eyeshadow is whatever. But like I've heard good things about the formula of those little guys whenever they come in the quads. Okay, I'm going to get caught up on the comments. All right, so Cozy Gaze Makeup says this is so tacky and ugly. Beth says it looks cheap. Dara says that 2 of those singles look pretty to me, but I'm a sucker for the taupey purpley colors. I'm like in a taupey purple moment. It might not look like it, but I'm having that. Like I'm very attracted to that right now. People freak out over these palettes. They are just not for me. Never bought one. Not my colors, not my finishes, not my packaging. Fair enough. Those pop shades get hard pan. I take her word. whenever she talks about Charlotte Tilbury because she knows Charlotte Tilbury. Okay. Hard pan's not great. I'd buy a single shadow because I use them quite often. Charlotte, it's tacky. Yeah, Charlotte's it is tacky. The jewels are killing me. It would have been better without them. But I understand we're trying to do something spicy for holiday. But torply, I know, my mouth, my divine little hands. Sometimes people say things that I say back to me and I'm like, why am I allowed to have a voice? Take it away. No thanks, darling. It is gauche. Gauche is the perfect. The Lauren Mae Beauty video about the taupey eyeshadows was great. I did enjoy that video. I was working while it was playing, so I wasn't really watching it, but I was listening. And I'm sure if I listened, I would have spent so much money. I wouldn't have because I'm mean, but like I would have felt compelled to. All right, let's talk about this thing. It is gauche. Everyone, the word of the day is gauche. Take it, run with it. There's going to be a whole evening for you on the other side of this critical SASS. We're going to use gauche as many times as possible. I remember one time casually saying the word gauche on a podcast that I was on, and that ended up being the title of the podcast, How Gauche. Anyway, there's a fun story for you. It's not fun at all. All right. We're all taking gauche and running with it. Okay, this is the Med Power, the Empowered palette. The Power Med. I get it, but also like the word empowered is already... Okay, I don't know why we needed to emphasize powder. Power. Oh, we could come up with so many words of the day. Not that I'm like on my way to making merch, but like I have written down things that you guys have seemed to have latched on to, like my divine little hand, my divine little hands. All right. So golds, coppers, browns, and neutrals in different textures. $67. Okay, I'm reading this description. 2 gel hybrid eyeliner shadows, 2 high shine wet metallics, 1 crushed flake gold. And those are all 3 of those are new formulas. So there's, 2 powder metallics, and then 9 powder mattes. Empowdered. I don't understand the concept of this packaging. Empowered is giving girl boss vibes. I think if you take the 9 on the right, you got a concept that I'm into. The 9 on the right are kind of like giving Huda all the time, Huda every day. But the 9 on the left, they say something to me. Hannah has done a couple videos on this, and she kind of like mentioned how like the 2 columns on the far right are like kind of the problem point, and like you can get rid of those and then you have a much more interesting palette, and I agree. Someone just mentioned the packaging, which I didn't even... Is it a bunch of small... Is it a barcode, or is it a bunch of like... Is it like a collage that makes up a picture of her? I'm not really sure. But it's not giving like special holiday. This is giving like... You're right, the packaging is... I'm upset about it now. I hadn't thought about it too much. I forget who I read the comment about packaging, but like now I'm upset about it, and now it's all I think about. All right. It feels try hard, and there are so many peaches. I'm sad I don't like her big palette this year because it would have gone so cool and edgy while being still approachable. I do feel like every Huda big palette looks so similar. It's a QR code. Yeah, it is giving the 2 9 pans. You can scan it with your phone and it will take you to tutorials. All right. The better version to me of this is the Jaguar palette she released that isn't on sale, but you can still get it here and there. I don't even think I remember the Jaguar palette. Empowered, but it has her face on it. This is giving giveaway at a women's conference. It's, you know what? What was that palette was it Ciate did it in last year, and it was like the women palette, and like every shade was like named after a powerful woman in history. It's kind of giving that, except it's just Huda. Huda's the only one. I do think if you have someone in your life that doesn't wear a lot of makeup, that this could be a beautiful gift to someone who doesn't wear a lot of makeup. I think this like missed a lot of us. If we are doing the comparison to the Natasha Denona My Dreams palette, I think I would have bought the My Dream palette over this, but neither one of them really spoke to me in any kind of way. This is Rachel Hollis as a palette. Well, all right. It's been very fun, but I gotta go. Women, gender, and Huda studies. Ooh. Huda really loves putting her face on things, and while I can get behind that level of narcissism, it's kind of past funny and tired. You did kill me, Kelly. You killed me. That comment. Oh, okay. I'm mad about this. All right, first of all, I remember this getting released last year. I know I've talked about this before at some point. Maybe it was only getting released in the UK. They're asking for you to pay $20 US when a jar, not a jar, but like a container of the got to be is like $8 at most. And you probably can get it on sale. And you get 70 million times the amount of product that you would get in this thing. The audacity. I remember when I talked about this the first time, I was like, if this costs more than $3, then it is not worth it. Because I can understand the convenience of the formula being presented in such a way, but not for 20 doll hairs. The audacity. Yeah, I still got a full day. Yes. I don't understand. Because I understand that. I know that a lot of people who do like feathered brows, or there are people who do feathered brows that will use the got to be gel to do that. And I also understand like for edges and stuff that this might be useful for some people. But like $20, I can't. Yes. Elle said the reason the gel was popular because it was affordable and it worked. I don't know that. Catch me with some disposable spoilies. Yeah. Yeah. Cozy Games and Makeup says that the only £2 are going to buy it. I don't want to. I hope no one buys it. That is that is my hope and my dream. But I cannot see anyone who's already using the big bottle of Got to Be ever coming to this and saying, I will buy this now. It doesn't seem to be the move. It's not it. And you guys know it. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay. These, I think, are for sale on the Sephora website. I didn't get the price, and then price is not on the thing that I took a screenshot of. But this is from Melt, and these are their Zodiac mini eyeshadow palettes. 4 mini eyeshadow palettes with creamy mattes, metallic shimmers, inspired by the negative traits of the 4 elements in the Zodiac. And it says, and more. So I guess more stuff is coming. Melt feels like late. This feels like late to the game. And it is giving... I was about to say something mean. And I think I do mean this. Like generic brand. But when I say generic brand, I think I'm thinking of like BH Cosmetics, which I guess is kind of mean. But like, am I wrong? I don't understand that. I think Melt is a good candidate to do monochromatic things. But the only one that I like out of the 4 is the Earth one, because it has greens and golds and browns. Like that's like the vibe that I'm mostly serving. But that is what Melt already basically does in every single one of their releases. Is like some form of green and yellow and rust. So it's like not something, I don't know what this is adding. I see that my chat is popping off. I'm gonna get caught up in it. These are $38. Ooh, these look really boring for melts. The most boring melt holiday release. Why can't the purple palette really be purple? I love melt. I think they lost me with this one. Makes us feel all bad about ourselves. Melt. This could have been so cool, but it's definitely not it. Melt so confidently wants to restart the monochromatic trend. The shade names are amusing. There's not much else to recommend. Ooh. Interesting pairs. Excuse me. Peaches and purples. Oh, in the Heir palette. I'm sorry, I can't see that far. I can't see that far away. The setup I have that goes on during Critical Sass is like not the most sophisticated. The fact that we are live is the best thing that I could do. Melt does ColourPop, does Y2K. I went to love Melt, but I always hear mixed reviews. I'm just like, I feel the same way. I have used it. It's giving Wet n Wild Zodiac element collection. Negative elements. What about the Wrath of elements? Volcanoes, earthquakes. Oh, you know, sometimes I just think that you guys, feels like 3 years ago they got stuck pre-pandemic. In what world did Urban Decay release an interesting color story and Melt and Pat are boring us? I don't know. But if the palette that Urban Decay recently released, the Robin Eisenberg collaboration, was removed from Urban Decay and like put as a Melt palette, would we have been as excited about it? Like removing I think perhaps the fact that it was just Urban Decay and the Urban Decay did something slightly interesting, then we were like a little bit more in on it. Reds look terrible on me. I like reds. I don't wear them very often, but I think they look good on me. Sorry about you, but they look good on me. Yeah. This feels like a crisis. A crisis, the call for help. The calls are coming from inside the house. It doesn't feel like authentic to like Melt's brand. Melt never felt like a brand that was trying too hard. This feels like we are trying very hard. Very hard. And that's not a good look on Melt because their whole thing was kind of effortless and cool, i.e. retro Urban Decay vibes. Okay. Like, a pop of green for Earth. Oh, Kelly, thank you. I don't know that I look good in everything. You know how I feel about me and pinks. Anything that isn't 420 feels like not Melt. I don't get on with Melt's formula, but I understand why people like it. As earlier I was talking about how I hope the Pat McGrath colorful mattes work and not in like a pack and blend way. I feel like for Melt, they work in like a way where like they work better when you pack them on and then blend them out. All I got these releases is I went to invest in a really beautiful red multichrome like Kiln from Cleona. I mean, that is a beautiful shade. I have that one. Melt is having a sale every time I've gone on their site. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, that's yikes. Big yikes. The vision is Earth is dying, so maybe it's accurate. Okay, let's move on. I can't with you all. All right. So this is the Patrick Ta limited edition major glow blush and highlighter palette. So there's, I think Trend made a mistake. I think there are 2 cream blushes, 2 powder blushes, and then like a balm highlighter and a regular highlighter. Well, Helen, Beth has got this broken. So I will if Beth is still in the chat, I would love to hear if she had anything else to say about it. The glossy highlight, it's very Patrick Ta, but is it realistic for the everyday being? That's my thing. I feel Okay, so Beth has some shorts swatching it for anyone who wants to see them. So make sure you go check out her profile. It's a Little Night Makeup. That's, if I'm referring to Beth, it's a Little Night Makeup. No thanks, Patrick. Too many specific choices for me. I want to like this palette, but I have these blush colors already. I think so. I think the colors, they went too neutral. I felt like last year they did like really fun pops whenever he like decided to release that trio. Someone in here said, I want to be attracted to Patrick Ta. And whenever I worked at Sephora, there was like, Patrick Ta did a masterclass for brows. He like was on a Zoom call with us, and that was during like quarantine when that happened. So anyway, you know, name dropping. Patrick Ta has no idea who I am, and that is okay. It's serving a fantasy that I don't know is like completely fully realized all of the time. Like, we're always just a little off with Patrick Ta. Like, we have a vision. Are we seeing the vision through in a way that like is good? And I don't know about that. I don't need face palettes like this either, Erin. This is too basic. The next comment, this is on brand for Patrick. I mean, that feels very right. The Danessa Myricks cream blush palette is extremely good, TBH. If you have that, you don't already need this. Yeah, I mean, also like Danessa Myricks for the most part gives you a lot of like flexibility as far as like mixing things too. Yeah, it's just not. We're just not that into you this year, Patrick. I'm so sorry. Beth made a really good point. Beth did a video reviewing the foundation that came out with the powder, and she used a lot of Patrick Ta. And she made a really good point about all the packaging looking the same. And if like Patrick Ta is the only brand you buy makeup from, how confusing you to open up everything to figure out what is what all the time. And that would be really annoying. Every time I go to reach for a Mothership palette, this is the same thing. I'm like, the only one I know that is the one that I know that it is because the color of it is pink as opposed to black like the rest of them. So I kind of hate that they all kind of packaging looks the same. Oh, it reminds me of Jouer. Wayne Goss also has the same packaging problem. Pat's blushes are the same too. I actually have issues with the Rowan quads. Yeah, they are. At least here I have the Rowan quads. I'm still like in testing. The name is written really big on the back, so as long as you know what that means, you should be okay. But the Motherships, the old ones don't have the names on the back. Some of the newer ones do. It's like it's a hard one. Buzzy B says, I feel like there's two chaotic categories separate from our true loves. Makeup brands you want to love but don't, and makeup brands you love but you wish you didn't. All I do in the morning is open and close Pat blushes. The names are written really small on the back on the... Yeah, the Motherships of Lacquer packaging are... It's hard to... You couldn't throw away the artwork on the Motherships. I held on to them for a very long time. And I was like, this is just cluttering up my space and taking up so much space. So I just got rid of them. You know what I'm going to be thinking about tomorrow morning as I'm working? I'm going to be thinking about Meg sitting in there and doing makeup and just being like, which one? And I'm real curious how many Meg has. How many of them? This is not my last one. Why I think that was our last one. Okay, I also talked about, I think in last Critical Sass Live, this had been like partially sneak peeked, but this is from Glaminatrix. This is their Glamorous eyeshadow palette in its full form. 4 duochromes, 1 high impact shimmer, 7 mattes. Colorful and high impact palette. It's magnetic. You can remove them and rearrange them. $55.22. So yeah, this is from Glaminatrix. This is the Glamorous palette. Sorry, I'm drinking a lot of fizzies, so I'm belt bring. Ooh, Poe says this looks like what the She-Hulk palette should have been. Maybe one more. Oh, no, there is a purple. Oh, yeah. There you go. If you wanted a She-Hulk palette, buy this. Call it that. I don't hate the color story. This is decidedly not for me. I would want only the shimmers from this palette. Just colorful mattes I have so many of, and I so very rarely use them. I mostly am in like, I love a high impact, high colorful shimmer if I'm gonna like do color. This reminds me of one of the Sydney Gray's Extemptalia palettes. I can't recall those. I remember them all looking the same. She's giving spoopy season. I don't know how to feel about this, and it really bothers me. Interesting. I wasn't expecting this to be so divisive amongst you. This is, I mean, I've said this before, but in case you have not heard me say this, I'm waiting for like I'm so into Glaminatrix as a concept, but they haven't released the palette. The Nocturnal palette was the closest, and the Nearly Neutral palette is like it was also a really good, I think the Beauty, the first one that I saw was like my favorite color story, and I like missed that. Like I missed it. If you look at the color story in quads, yes. So, okay. It does make a little bit more sense that way. It does feel as though that brands are like now putting out big palettes, and they're like, we're still going to give you 16 eyeshadows, but we've segmented them for you. And it's like, well, the beauty of a quad is that we aren't distracted by the other parts of it. So don't give me 4 quads in one palette. That's hard for me. It's hard for me to go on. I like the Glaminatrix palettes, but part of me feels like I'm better off buying beautiful Terra Moon shimmers and chromes and using the mattes I own. I feel that way too. I feel like a lot of the times when a palette, not only from Glaminatrix, but anything like this, I'm like, well, I'd rather just buy the singles that are close and then make my own if I don't have singles that fulfill that fantasy. I like tiny palettes too, I'm like getting more and more into like the smaller concept. The bottom left and the top right are the same color in different fonts. Fair. Yeah, give us maybe the only thing about the quads. Well, I'm thinking about this specifically as an American consumer wanting to buy Glaminatrix. I don't think I would ever buy one quad and pay that much for shipping for one quad. That's where you lose me. So that's like a hard thing to think about. Glaminatrix has that problem for if you're buying in America. I'm waiting for Adept to release that Minka palette. They sneak peeked that a while ago, and then they were like, we're releasing blushes and highlighters. And I was like, show me the Minka palette. I'm waiting for it. I am waiting for it. I bought the Nearly Neutral palette, so I should be enjoying that for Christmas. Kelly S., I would love to hear you report back on that whenever you get it. All right. I think I have one more atrocity for us to discuss, and then we can get on it. Here it is. Now the sneak peeks of the Be Adept palette can already take money. It's not, yeah. Y'all just convinced me this ain't shit. That's what we're here for. This is some kind of like seltzer. I don't know that it's good, but that is what I'm drinking. All right. Pleasing by Harry Styles, collaborated with Marco Ribeiro, who is a Brazilian designer. This pressed powder palette is $50, can be used on the face and eyes. There's a cream pigments trio, can be worn alone or mixed together. $25 gloss, a multi-use gloss, can be used on the lips, eyes, or skin. Is that what's in the clear? Okay. 5 nail polishes. They're $20. Oh. No, you have to buy the colorful ones as a set, but the brown one is sold separately. Is that true? Anyway, that's like what the trend mood listing says. I'm going to catch up. Does anyone have any more don't worry, darling stuff to spell? Looks like a little board game pawns. What? Shapes? This is the Harry Styles brand. I just go for Zara Beauty. Cringe. Too many shapes. That is a palette. That tin in the back is a palette. To the people that will buy this, I'm glad you have all the disposable income. I wish well good for you. Abstract though. Looks like math makeup. You used to make geometric shapes as a kid. All right. The fact that the one shade of the purple diamond is a purple with a purple inside of it. Why? Why make it hard to use? Like, why is that what we're doing? It reminds me of the Christine Leanne palette. The Urban Decay and Christine, was it Kristen or Christine Leanne? And it had just, the pans were just random shapes. And I remember everyone being so upset about it. It's giving that. Also, $65, or sorry, the palette is $50. I wouldn't pay $50 for that. The thing is, Harry Styles does nothing for me. I don't mind his music, but like, I'm not a fan by any means. So like, this just is like so whatever to me. I hope that people who are fans of Harry don't just buy this because they're like, I love Harry Styles. But it does feel as though it is, fans will buy this more so than makeup lovers. At least I hope so. That's my hope. I also, does Harry wear eyeshadow? I know he wears nail polish, but does he wear eyeshadow? Is that like a thing he's trying out? The cream pigments, you have to buy them in a trio. They are $40. There are so many artistry brands that sell pigments like this that if you were going to explore that, why wouldn't you just use them? And they're so much cheaper because like artistry brands are priced so that people can fill their kits and have high performing like they're not always the easiest things to use because they're not really designed for like the consumer to use, but like, I don't know. You don't need that from him. If you are interested in those kind of pigments, that's like not where you would go. The nail polish is like, whatever. I do think it's weird that it does on Trendmood. It says a rich brown color, $20. Then it says the set, $65 of the colorful ones that are not on the side, like on their side. I'm not really sure what's going on there. When people without knowledge about makeup decide to do something new and outside the box, just give us kids makeup. So much wasted space. That's really it. The wasted space. If backgammon and chess made makeup. Hi, Amira. Thank you so much. I don't know how the design of this palette as a thing would translate to the face. I don't think well. How can abstract you go? It's also like there's 3 concepts happening. Are you supposed to wear them all together? Or is it like you wear the 3 normal pans, then you wear like the peace sign pans, and then you wear the purple ones? Simply Swatch does make a good point. When you're buying like those creams from artistry brands, you can just buy the color you want instead of having to mix if you really weren't interested in. I don't know anything about Harry Styles, but sure, it's aesthetic. But is it a good one? Is it a good one? I hate whenever brands just forget about the usability, the feeling in the hand, the performance. It's like they just like throw it all out the window and do whatever they want. So who will do a full face video first? Not me. You're not going to catch pleasing on this channel anytime soon. Not with this release. Not this one. All right. We're back to the beginning. Well, Hodies, thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. Thank you all again for voting for me for Best Pittsburgh. Boo-boo! 2nd place, 3rd place. We did it. Not best YouTube account, but there's always next year. We'll get them next year. We'll build a bigger community, and then I'll be like, I'm going to take down Pittsburgh Dad. Now, it's like a personal goal of mine. I'm going to take down Pittsburgh Dad. Good night, everyone who is in the evening. If you're in Australia or anywhere else, like good morning, happy day, happy whatever time you're watching this. If you're watching this in the replay, thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your haute, and you will find me. I will see you in a video very soon. Bye-bye, friends. I wish I could play the outro music while I'm holding my hands, but I'm not that talented, nor do I really know how to do that. Okay, love